one thing, otherwise it disperses them, right?
Yep.
All right, good. So let's just start shooting some questions back and forth. So thanks for being with me here, Ed. And it's an interesting time in business right now. So thanks for being with me. I want to go ahead and have you tell us your background. Give us a little bit idea of you're not just some guy on the interwebs who occasionally talk to a doctor every now and then. You've done this a bit. You've helped quite a few practices out. Give us a little bit of your background.
Oh, quite a few. I've helped literally, when you look at staff and doctors, hundreds and hundreds over the years. I've been a practice consultant, business consultant for 30 years. Okay, like I teach doctors how to become an executive over their practices, hire better staff, market, out there, do things, collect better cash money, better report of findings, the whole thing in there. Okay, so they can have a more prosperous business like that. I've been doing this, like I said, for 30 years. I've probably had, well over a dozen articles published, in major consulting magazines. In fact, I've got one coming out here in the next month with chiropractic economics and stuff. And they
love you over there. I know they love you over there.
They love me over there. They do, and it's good magazine too. But also, I've got a YouTube channel. I've got over 50 videos on little management principles and things like this. So I've been around the block quite a few times.
Yeah, and you're doing well because I know you're doing well. You're one of my rich friends, Ed. So
not as much as you, John.
Yeah, exactly. We're all just floating in money here, right? No. Okay, good.
Yeah, there we go.
Well, good. So I'm really glad to have someone like you with your caliber and quality to talk to and give straight advice. Because what we're doing here is I want our deal on this. Whenever I talk to somebody, is straight deal, straight useful information. It's always got to be no fluff, no baloney. Like, here's how you do this. And what I want to address on this as an urgent thing is how to handle cancellations in the area of this whole crisis we're in. How do you, look, I know we've got clients who had this incredibly painful experience happen where they had 10 patients on the books for today, and then 9 out of 10 canceled, and then finally the 10th one was late, or 10th one canceled at the end. Like they've just had a horrendous amount of people just heading for the hills, and now they're sitting with all these cancellations and no patients, and they're going to be reopening. So how would you, what's your straight advice? If I were paying you the thousands of dollars other guys usually have to pay you, what would you tell me?
My $1,000 an hour? Okay. Well, the thing is on this, of course, this is mass hysteria. This is an epidemic, pandemic. People are scared, and they should be, because there are people dying from this. Okay, it's particularly the older ones, but still, and those a lot of times the ones you're going to find are the ones that are more insistent on canceling their appointments and stuff. But here's where you have to approach it from. You can't make the patient wrong if they want to cancel it. Like, I want to cancel my patient, my appointment. Oh, no, you can't do that. Got to get in here. It's like, no, it's not really approach it from that angle, okay? You have to be understanding. So, if the patient goes, well, I'm scared with the virus and this and that, and you just go, you should be, okay? It's a valid thing. It's going on. It's real in our country today, and hopefully it won't last too much longer. But here's what we've done to make it safe for you is in the morning when the staff come in, we check their temperatures. We see if they have any of the symptoms. It could be for a virus, and we give them a clean bill of health before they can come to work, before they come in the building, right there. And then we do that with our patients too. When a patient walks in the door, we take their temperature. We check some of the, have they been exposed or they have any of the symptoms of the virus? And we just check it right there, because if they do, we can't let them in the building. Okay. So, and then we sterilize and clean everything. Every time a patient walks through, lays on the table, bam, it gets cleaned. It's the doorknobs, everything. The staff are really going through and cleaning this. But here's the one thing you really got to understand. Your treatment in this office helps your immune system stay up, so that if you are in contact with any viruses or other illnesses, then you are more able to fight that disease off and be more resistant and not get sick. So it's very important that you come in, so you need to come in.
Interesting.
And just, bam, hit it like that. So you need to come in, okay? And that will revert. I had one of my clients that was actually having an issue with this, and I went, oh, quick. He was going to have a staff meeting in an hour or so, and I went through this with him, this format, and he went through it with his staff, and immediately, they were, oh, cancel, no, they came in. Oh, going to cancel, no, they came in. Just immediately. So it does work quite well.
Okay, so the tactic is you acknowledge their fear. You don't make them wrong. You acknowledge the fear, and then you basically just go down the litany of how you're taking care of it, making it a safe. Your office is like one of the safest places to be.
Yes. You're the haven to go to. You're safe. You're not going to get a disease here. But the thing is, and then what we're going to do we're going to make them more resistive. Okay, so that's why they need to come in for their treatments.
Okay, yeah. The third point is because I guess someone's in chronic pain, even if they're a new patient or they're a continuing patient and they have some disability, any dysfunction of the body is going to weaken your immune system.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're talking about chiropractic here, right? And in chiropractic, basically the theory is pain relief, correction, and wellness. Well, in the correction phase, they're probably not even in pain. But pain is a horrible indicator of health, the worst thing you can go by. So, but with this, it's regardless of what phase of care they're in, they need to be there because they've got to strengthen their immune system. And if their nervous system is out of balance and they got problems with this, it's compromising their system.
Right. Good point. So you find that patients respond to that?
Very well. But you got to finish it up with a command statement. You ever seen an advertisement or something that says buy now, call now, like that, right?
Yeah.
Right. Respond now. It's a
call to
command
action
statement. That's right. You got to do that on this. So you need to come in now. Okay. So you end it with that, and just with an expectations they're coming in.
Okay, good. Yeah, I guess a key part is to make sure your staff have their own mind right on the thing, that it is okay for people to come in. It is all right to be there,
Well, and the doctor really should check his staff, and the doctor should check himself. I mean, you got those thermometers you can point at your forehead, and in 3 seconds, right? And then just say, hey, have you been sneezing, coughing, got cold symptoms? And now, unfortunately, we're in spring. So there's a lot of hay fever or spring fever or whatever, allergies to pollen and things like that out there. So you got to be careful that, you're not just screening out anybody that's sneezing because they got pollen. That is a situation. That's the doctor's decision he's got to make. But if they're having any of those symptoms, they're supposed to be sent home.
All right.
And then you can give them information on where to go to get checked out.
Okay, that sounds very useful. So that's for guys who are calling to cancel their appointment, or they're maybe calling for an appointment or something. What about that? A lot of these docs will have people now that maybe got 10 or 20 or 30 or 40 people who have missed appointments, right? Any additional advice you have for, how to reach out and recapture those guys? Like anything special you'd say on the phone or a text messaging or something like that? I mean, just the messaging wise.
Just call us today. It's very important on your appointment. Just get them to communicate. Okay, they're usually canceling the appointments out of fear. Mm-hmm. That's what it is, and it's not because they weren't enjoying their appointment or they can't afford it, or like that could be some cases. But in this case, when you have this, it's strictly they're afraid. They don't want to go around crowds. They can't. I don't want to be within 6 feet of people. I don't want to. I only go to the grocery store or the gas station if I have to, and okay, I got that. But, it's honestly, it's out there. But if you look at the amount of people that have been infected with it, you can look in your own particular area, of course, but there's lots of areas of the country that aren't that affected with it. Okay. So, it's going to be hard to get it anyway.
All right, good. I think I also hear what you're saying is, some folks will just try to send an email and hope that handles a person to come back in, Well,
it may take an email, a fax. It could take a doctor's call.
Oh.
Okay. The guideline I have, and I teach my doctors this, is that I call it 3 no's. So, the receptionist calls the patient up and says, hey, we need to get you in for your appointment. They go, honey, I'm feeling fine. And they go, okay, that's one no. And you go, okay, but we really need to. The doctor wanted me to call you and get you in. And they go, well, I'm just so busy. That's two no's. And you go, well, if this wasn't so important, then, that I wouldn't be calling you, but the doctor said to call you. And they go, well, you tell that wonderful doctor hello for me, but I'm just not interested at this point. That's three no's, okay? So, and that's the old college try. And then at that point, there's an issue with that patient, and it needs to be flipped over to the doctor to call.
So you basically escalate it to the doctor as like the authority, so then he calls.
That's right, because when the doctor calls and he goes, hey, no, you don't say, you need to get in here. Come on. I'm the doctor, okay? Yeah, but no, I'm the doctor.
All right, good. Just use the lab coat authority on him.
That's right. Right. I'm going to keep you from getting this damn disease, so get in here.
So do you find that drilling staff or role playing with them helps them get this down better?
That's critical. You can give a staff member a written description, whatever, on it. What do you want to say? Script, okay? And you hand it to them, and it'll never be done. But you spend a few minutes of role playing, and then they do it. I'll give you a classic example. One thing I use when you have a situation of a holiday that's coming up, or spring break is a holiday, or something right before or after. I always want the receptionist to put in this question along with their appointment. Go, okay, so we've got you scheduled for 10:30 on next Tuesday. So now, is there any reason you won't be able to make that appointment? Okay, so it's very strong. It double commits them onto that appointment. Okay, now you can do that for brand new ones that are scheduling in. Definitely, if your percentage of appointments kept, too many people are missing, you definitely put that in with them. And there's a few other points like that. But it's if you just take a minute and role play that, then they'll start doing it. Now, if you don't, they won't. They won't. They just won't. The best won't. Okay, and it's not because they have ill intentions or anything like that. It's just part of training is what's called drilling, role playing. That's part of training, and that makes it much, 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 much more effective.
Oh, well, that makes total sense. Okay. How's a doc know, okay, kind of going to a more general, like this, instead of this emergency situation, generally, how does a doc know if he's got a good show-up rate, a good arrival rate? Because it can be from a lot of different reasons. You could say, oh, well, we made 15 appointments, but 8 showed, so we feel like that's good, right? How do you evaluate what's a good show-up rate? Yeah, I know.
Yeah. There's a statistic I like to keep at the front desk. I have all my clients do this. It's called percentage of appointments kept. So you take your number of appointments that were made, and you divide it'll be a bigger number, into the number of those that were kept. Okay, so let's say you appointed 100 people, and 80 showed up. So you divide the 100 into 80, you get 80%. Okay, and that's a terrible rate.
So you think 80% is a terrible rate for show up?
Yeah, it's a terrible rate. That's a terrible. You can I look at a list from 95 to 100 is A, and from 95 to 90 is B. Okay, from 90 to 85 is C. I
would have totally flunked out of Ed Sharp school. I would have gotten like a double F down there.
Well, 85 to 80 is D, and below that's an F, and they're fired. F stands for fired.
F stands for fired. Oh, harsh. Yeah, okay. Wow, okay, so your expectation.
There's multiple ways to handle that, right? Okay. One of the most critical ones is during the report of findings and how you communicate to the patient not to miss their appointments. Okay. So it's unfair for a receptionist, for a doctor to yell at the receptionist if he's not telling the patients to make their appointments. That one of the worst things a doctor can do is tell the patient, well, just call me if you need me. Oh. That's terrible, or, come in if you need me. That's even worse. All right. That wasn't call, it was come in. Or close to that is as long as you make it up in the week.
Oh.
Okay? That's not good, you see. Or call if you can't make it. You see, that opens a whole can of worms.
Oh, so there are actually ways that a doctor kind of may, just by seeming he can be polite or being kind of jovial, might actually sabotage his sign-up rate and think it's his front desk. Oh my! You know what? I've never heard that before, man. That's a knowledge bomb right there. That's interesting. I bet you a lot of guys think they're being nice and think, oh, the front desk will make sure that she really shows that person really shows up. But by being kind of loosey-goosey from the top, he's the authority, and that waters down what his staff can accomplish. Holy crap, that's amazing.
Yeah, because if the doctor didn't think like it was so danged important, why would the patient? And particularly if you're going to be like in chiropractic, like we mentioned earlier, is that if a patient's in the correction phase of care, there's a good chance they're not even in pain.
Mm-hmm.
And if you really hadn't indoctrinated them on the issue of pain is a horrible indicator of health, so you still need to be here, okay, then the patient goes, oh, I feel great. No, I'm not going to be there. Or I'm sick. I'm not coming in. Now, this is before the coronavirus, right? Hey, yeah, you're going to stay home. But before it was like, no, you need to come and get your adjustment. It'll help you,
All right. So interesting. So actually a poor show-up rate of existing patients, a poor show-up rate can also be an indication of something missing in the sales process and the closing process and the reporting of findings process.
100%.
Wow.
And also reinforced in the re-exam.
Okay, the re-exam. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay, now what about with brand new patients? That's the other type of appointments guys get. And sometimes they pay for advertising, like with our company, and they'll get a show-up rate, and they'll want to improve that show-up rate, whatever it happens to be. Sometimes that's based on how good the advertising. I mean, an ad can blow it too. An ad can say, hey, be targeted people are unqualified, and you'll get people showing up. But I feel like once the appointment's made, that kind of goes to the front desk skill of getting that appointment. How firm is that, right? Like,
it's true. Yeah.
What's your experience been like with improving that area? Like, so new patient appointment keeping, and what do you think a good target for that is in terms of success?
Okay. Well, like I told you earlier that that question on is there any reason you won't be able to make that appointment? Really reinforcing this, letting them know, look, the doctor's going to set aside a whole hour to be with you. So if you're not here, you could be helping someone else. So I really need to know, is there any reason you won't be able to make that appointment? You see, like, boom.
Wow. Right? So that's a double confirm and a little guilt. Sealed with guilt.
Sure is. Because I can't charge you like $100, and if you don't show up, it's mine. Okay. There's other consultants I know in the past that had talked about, well, hey, you tell them that, the money they put down, maybe from a screening or something like that, whatever, but they're going to pay $20, to hold their appointment. And if you don't show up, we're going to give that to charity, and they go, oh, well, I did a great thing. I didn't show up, but I still gave it to charity. And it's like, no.
Yeah, I see guys who try the prepaid appointment. They'll do a prepaid appointment. So they click the
yeah, even that you have trouble. Yeah, you can't. It's not as much because they have something, on the board there for it. So, but now I tell you one thing I've run into a little bit recently and been working on with a couple of my clients, and one of them's had a very, very good success on this, is that he's had patients that have canceled. They scheduled them and they didn't show, right? So worked with him on it. He'll carry it on to his staff soon. But there's when you're doing a consultation on a patient, you got to dig in there and find out why they really want to handle this condition. Okay? It's like, what is this condition preventing them from being, from doing, from having? It's like, what is it? Okay? That's called a RUIN, R-U-I-N. Okay? And then you can use these things called how questions. There's about 5 of them. And it's how long have you had it? How often do you get it? How bad does it get when you have it? How have you tried to handle that? And how does this affect different areas of your life, like work, home, pet, play, right? So it narrows it down, and you're digging in to find that RUIN. Why do they want to fix this condition? Okay? Not that they have the condition. Oh, I got a low back pain or something. Well, what's it preventing you from doing? What's the deal? Why do you want to handle this? Well, I can't get out and play golf. Well, why is that important? You see, because you thought you had it there. Oh, I couldn't play golf. Well, why is that important to you? Well, my buddies. I love my buddies. Oh, okay, good. So now we're getting it. He plays golf to be with his buddies. Now, just so you know, too, and this is for anybody that just to know if you've got that ruin, you ask this question. All right, so if we could fix this so you could get on that golf course and be with your buddies, would that make you happy? You will see an emotional change. They'll go, yes. Okay, there will be an emotional change. It's there.
That's how you know you've got the right reason. The right.
You know you got it. If they go, you don't have. Well, is there any other area that's preventing you from doing? You see, you go ahead and get it anyway. So I'm having them do this and get that ruin, and then scheduling them again, and then asking that. Now, is there any reason we don't be able to make that appointment? And their show-up ratio has been tremendous off of the cancellations from there.
Would you? I mean, I feel like I would actually note that on the guy's file, the guy's chart. Like he wants to get back out on the golf course with his buddies, because that way, if you ever have trouble getting a hold of him.
Yeah. Circle it in red. Stars, whatever. Because when you're talking to him on his treatment plan the next day, he goes, well, I don't know. This is going to cost a lot of money. He says, well, don't you want to get back on that golf course? What's that worth to you? Well, okay, you're right. Yeah, okay.
Oh, that's so elegant. That's so beautiful and elegant. Okay, good. All right. So, circling back to the scheduling, is there anything else that you'd want to communicate to people, either now in this kind of crisis time or just generally about scheduling? Is there anything pearls of wisdom that I haven't dug out of you for free here?
One of the things that I would encourage them is don't back off. Don't get stuck into the problem of it. Like market, promote more. Market, promote more. Market, promote more. Like push for those new patients. Push harder, push harder. If you're doing one program, John, one of your clients doing one program with him, have him do 2 programs with you. Okay, it's twice as much. Well, not quite as much, but not twice. But let's run 2 programs and stuff. Because what's going to happen is you get that momentum going, and as soon as we get back to normal, they're going to explode with expansion because of all that. Because there's a basic principle. We're not going to get into that tonight, I don't guess, but there's a basic fundamental principle of how to make that work, marketing and why it works.
Sure, and I can imagine the offices that pull back now are going to be in a very cold start situation when they finally can reopen. That's all stopped. It's all cold. It's all nowhere, versus the guys who are just kind of pushing through. They're just going to keep taking off, and they'll take the market share from the guys who stood still and backed off. So, well, all right.
Yeah. But there is hope. There is a hope factor, because I have talked to a couple of my clients, and they're doing quite well. They had some cancellations there, but we fixed it real quick, and now they're rolling fine, and it's just, they're doing well. It's you think, oh, they'd be down tremendously. No, they're not. Okay.
Great. But let's see.
It's like a normal spring break.
What I like, the underlying, I guess probably the underlying philosophy I have, and you seem to share it, is that you are in control of your own stats, of your own situation. Like no matter what, if it's raining outside, there's a hurricane or a virus or whatever, you're the one. There's always something you can do rather than just sit there and be a victim of the whole thing.
Well, there's only one reason for down statistics, and that's an act of God. Okay? A virus is not an act of God. That was created by some farmer somewhere with his pig or his chicken or whatever it was that caused this. They don't know, right? But it's like that was a man-made deal, okay? And it's spread by man. So it's not an act of God, which would be a hurricane or a tornado. You've got to hunker down for that till it passes, and then you get back with it, right? You rebuild and go, right?
Yeah.
But this will all be handled. If you don't stop your momentum, then when it fixes in a few weeks, you're rolling fast. Okay, you're ahead of the game, ahead of the curve. Okay?
All right, good. So what would be your short message for, like, if it was just a short message on, what would you tell a guy right now he's worried about his empty schedule book, he's kind of scared of the future, he's got rent and bills and everything else to pay, but he's really down on his numbers because he's been closed, or the governor of his state's telling him not even show up to work, and his staff are scared to death? What would you tell that guy?
I just tell him, look, don't get into how of the hysterics of it. Okay, money may be tight. You still got to promote, and then get the new patients in and close them on services. So you just keep going, put a little more pressure on the line, a little more oomph, a little more go after it than maybe you would. Maybe before you could go, I'm going to go home, whatever, tired. Well, maybe that night you sit down and stay in the office and you go, okay, what marketing thing am I going to get out? Okay, what email are we going to send out to all our patient base? What are we going to, a little bit more effort now. And it'll come back, it'll come through, and your staff, just reassure them, look, we're going to check everybody when you come in, do all the checks, which you really should do every morning when they come in, take their temperature, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then, all your patients, just keep that a routine procedure until we're in the clear. And it's like, it's a safe haven, and then promote to your patients. And this is a safe haven. Come in and get your treatment. Okay. It will help you get through this, and it'll help their stress too.
Right. Good. All right. Well, thank you very much for all this incredible data, Ed. Let me ask this. I mean, I'm sure there's guys there in just a few minutes, you can't cover everything, I'm sure. So if someone else there wants your help, what kind of help can you offer them, and how do they reach you?
There's a couple ways they can reach me. Email is very, very good. edsharp333@gmail.com. Okay. And then maybe you can show it on the screen, but,
we'll do that.
And then, also, they can call me, and if they don't get me directly, it's my office number. I can leave a message. I will call them back. It's 727-669-0655. Okay. And, if if they want to talk to me, I will actually do because if they're a customer of yours, John, they always get a free consultation and stuff. I do that. But if anybody really wants, okay, talk to me about something, I got this going on or that going on, or how do I handle this? I could do a full practice evaluation and go, okay, this is what you need to handle to get to your goals, et cetera, whatever they want. Okay. And then let them know what programs I have to handle that. I have various programs. Okay.
So, all right, good. So you can pretty much anything. So it's not just scheduling, whatever sales, scheduling, hiring, whatever their problem in their practice is, they always got their own little special bugaboos. You can solve it.
Yeah. The only thing I don't handle is billing and collection from insurance. Okay. I don't get into that arena. That's a whole specialty in its own, but I will teach you how to get more cash, a lot more cash.
Oh, more cash. Okay. That's quite a good thing.
Yeah.
Cash is fun.
Yes.
All right.
Cash is king.
All right, good. So I wholeheartedly recommend people reach out and talk to you. I tell you, you just a treasure trove of information every time I talk to you. Just your offhand comment is like a solution that whole swaths of clients have. You're like, oh my gosh, So that's good stuff. All right, good. Thank you.
Good.